Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Bill and this is Trying to Stand, where I try new things in pop culture because I've been living under a rock. This week I'm doing something a little different. Trying to Stand, like old school Trying to Stand, is going to be on Thursday, so wait for that. Recently I asked you guys on social media if you wanted to see my thoughts on some of the award shows because I missed out on the Grammys. I didn't even know when they were. I didn't have a way to watch them, and a lot of people seem to be bummed that I wasn't giving thoughts on it. I signed up for a service that doesn't sponsor me so I could watch award shows more. So I watched the Oscars. We're going to talk about that. Like I said, there's going to be a Trying to Stand on Thursday and then normal Trying to Stand next week. I also figured this kind of fit because I didn't realize this, but 3 different artists that I've covered already on the channel were at the Oscars. This was my first red carpet because usually I just skip through it and wait for the awards, and even then don't fully pay attention. Best dress is Billy Porter, who looks like a living Renaissance painting. Janelle Monáe, who just absolutely blew me away, and seeing the two of them about how they had to bring their game so they could talk to each other made me super happy. Who else did I love? Help me.
Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, Sigourney Weaver. Regina King looks stunning. This part's always hard for me because I don't know anything about clothes. Charlize Theron looked amazing. I'm surprised she didn't win, if I'm being completely honest. I haven't seen Judy, so sorry to Renee Zellweger. Spike Lee, I felt like his tribute to Kobe Bryant was tastefully done. I wish his pre-carpet interview wasn't so uncomfortable and weird. That reporter was 1 second away from going, "So what's with the number on your lapel?" Like, come on, man, pay attention. But Spike Lee took the day in stride, and I think he wins the award for maturity of the year. Dude just showed up, did his thing, answered his questions, excused himself in interviews when he was done, starting a new project, licking his wounds from the last one with BlacKkKlansman, and I really appreciated that. Worst dressed for me has to be Gal Gadot, which breaks my heart because I love Gal Gadot. I don't get fashion, I don't understand clothes. It just threw me off. The pink floral bottom and then the black lacy top, it super confused me. It looked like it was missing a jacket or something to kind of pull it all together, but I don't know anything about fashion. That's just me. I'm wearing pajama pants right now. They have pockets, so ask me what's in the pockets. Nothing. They're pajamas. I really enjoyed the Oscars, but I also really didn't. It was weird. It's weird not having a host. I feel like they need to get it together a little more if they're gonna go the no host route, which is fine. I don't need there to be a host. It moves everything along smoother at times. The opener just kind of started, and next thing I know, Janelle Monáe is Mr. Rogers, and then is like reminding me of Midsommar, and there's people dressed like characters from Us and the Joker, and we're talking suddenly beautifully about equality in there, but it just kind of started and I was super thrown off.
Also, Janelle and Billy were amazing together. I thought I dreamed that.
I wasn't even ready for it to start. It just kind of did. Like, I'm sorry, every time Ryan Seacrest talks, I don't pay attention. But I absolutely loved her opening number. I felt like, yeah, like you do need to kind of, point out that just because you weren't recognized by the Academy doesn't mean you didn't make film or a great film, and the same thing goes for the Grammys, the same thing goes for whether you win or lose. They're cooking just fine. They don't need more spice on the steak, But I really loved her opening number, giving love to so many of the people in the movies, and I thought it was really fun to kind of play a little bit more with the audience. I loved the Mr. Rogers opening, and then giving her hat to Tom Hanks. Like, I thought for a minute he was gonna get up and dance with her. He looked so poised and ready to like answer a question or do a thing. I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Janelle's such an amazing performer to watch. I really want to see Janelle live. I'm so sweaty. Knees weak, mom spaghetti, which is relevant. I loved the Not monologue with Chris Rock and Steve Martin. I thought that was really fun and a little different. It just, I think 2 years of having the bit of there is no host and there is no monologue, it's kind of getting a little old. If this is what you're gonna do for the future now, just do it. Don't apologize for it or wink at it so much, because now it's like, if this is your new norm, have that confidence. Because you are making a choice, and then by kind of letting people tongue-in-cheek your way through that choice, it kind of belittles it a little bit. It was still great jokes. It's like, isn't the whole point to like cut the time and cut the problems and just keep things moving? It was weird sometimes to have like people introducing the people doing the categories. Sometimes it felt a little strange. When things derailed, they really derailed. And I think it shows when you don't have a host there to kind of like work with the lifeline of the show. They're there to deliver their part and go home, which is fine, but just makes the problems a little larger.
I wasn't prepared for this to be so soon. I'm already tearful from Hair Love winning. Oh, and there it goes. My hand's shaking. Oh, I love it. Yes, Adina, focus on the other people on stage. Man, there's something too about like Aurora just being back there doing her hand thing, just overseeing the whole thing. Ooh, it gave me chills. Oh, my hands are still shaking.
I love the performance of Into the Unknown, especially Aurora and Adina opening and then sharing the stage with all the different Elsas from around the world. I kind of wish we'd gotten a little more, because what I was kind of hoping for was, since we're already in a lineup, I was hoping that each performer would get to hit the Into the Unknown from like each language, each person, and then it ends with them kind of swelling together. I thought that would have been cool. You know, like the first person sings it and holds it, and then we keep going down the line. I thought that would have been really cool, because it felt like everyone got a sentence and then we oohed and awed the rest of the way through. Like, I wanted a little more time for everybody, but I thought that was such a wonderful statement. I love Josh Gad's intro to everything. There's something so satisfying knowing Aurora's work, and she's the wind spirit, which I already loved in the movie, but I love just seeing her sort of be the call to action for the summoning of the Elsas of the world. So much unity there. And it was interesting to hear how, they all sound like they could be, even though they were speaking different languages, they all kind of sounded the same. It was interesting. Like, I feel like you could learn a lot from how dub casting is kind of done, where they kind of want everyone to kind of have a similar sound and quality. So they all brought it. It was very beautiful. I really liked that performance. I'm Standing With You was lovely. It felt very another beautiful Oscar song. Sort of Celine Dion kind of song to me. That's not a negative. That's not a criticism. Stand Up was very invigorating, and had I had known the song beforehand, I definitely would have picked that as my top contender, because as much as I like I'm Gonna Love Me Again, I feel like I'm Gonna Love Me Again fits because it's someone doing what they do best, and it's expected of Elton John to write music about being essentially Elton John so well, especially with his creative partner. Stand Up, I felt like it kind of had that rising grind and that call out to the world, to other people. Going into that performance, knowing that she was the only representation there for the night, I feel like she also took that responsibility on and really utilized it to add to the performance. And I feel like because she just commanded so much, and then as she started to grow in volume and presence, she already had the whole room at a softer moment, because a lot of her riffing was very heady, pitched high, and light, and then it started to grow and grow and grow. Extending a hand for people who needed it. It really had a strong, great ending. And then Randy Newman is Randy Newman. Randy Newman could have written a dozen Randy Newman songs, and you have a song for the next 10 Toy Stories. It was very nostalgic. It was very well done. I appreciated the rap about the show so far. I loved the little shout outs to winners, performers. I thought that was really fun. I felt like that should have come first before Lose Yourself, which threw me through the weirdest loop. Why don't you do all of those songs instead of playing clips of a bunch and then just doing Lose Yourself? I know it's important that it's the first rap song to win an Academy Award. The microphones weren't working, so it made the performance already clunky, and like it kind of doubled down on how out of place everything felt, because if the transition is going to be so sudden, then everything kind of needs to work, because it needs to be sudden and then feel seamless. If it's so sudden and then it's so clunky, it almost felt like he crashed the Oscars. It's weird. It's very much from a psychological place. It's not a criticism of anyone on stage. That's no one's fault. It's a bummer on multiple levels, especially when you have so many multifaceted people there. I think I would have liked it more if maybe we had gotten more of the other songs and then just a straight up performance of Lose Yourself, or if Lose Yourself was the catalyst for an actual live medley instead of like clunky awkward clip. The clips for everything, that was really oddly strange for me, especially if we're trying to go with more of a unity message. The Foreign Film Award, the name changed to International Film. If we're trying to like kind of bring together more things, that was a missed opportunity, I feel like, to have included Lose Yourself as the beginning of like a collection of performances and medleys of everyone doing different songs together instead of Purple Rain, Don't You Forget About Me, Footloose. It was just so strange. And that's no one's fault. It was just so jarring, and it took me a minute to realize why. Here's the clip of me being so confused.
Idina Menzel is me. Am I missing something? Is it the anniversary? What about Purple Rain, Whitney Houston, Kenny Loggins, Power of Love, any of that? That was a weird choice. Martin Scorsese's just like, I f***ed the song once. And that got introed. And the sad song that, what's her name, from Greatest Showman, there was no intro there. Aurora.
Please, God, tell me I'm going to say his name right. Bong Joon-ho, winning so many awards for Parasite, was one of my highlights. That dude was humble, hilarious, fun, deserving of the awards. It's so beautiful for me as someone who is so driven and touched by so many artists to see someone also kind of just nerd out over people, but they get to do it in person. Like, it's just delightful, beautiful. Bless his translator. She was on top of it, nailing it the whole time. I'm like, man, I bet you she thought she was only gonna have to get up there and speak like twice in front of all these rich, famous, and powerful people. She had to do it like 7 times. That's gotta be quite a strange day for everybody, but well-deserved, 100% well-deserved. Billie Eilish's In Memoriam performance of Yesterday.
I'm screwed. Oh, Oof. Yes, Billy. God damn it. Oh, shit. That sounded really good on her voice, and she's such a master of it already. And both of them sounded so good together. The commercials are cutting into my thoughts. We're going to cut back to the room. Cut back to the studio.
I felt like it was a great song choice. Their arrangement was very beautiful, and I loved that the focus wasn't on Billy and it wasn't on the two of them performing. It was to honor the people that we've lost. And this was the first time where I was actually here to listen to the person singing. I figured she was doing the In Memoriam. I didn't know until like right before it was about to happen. I see her backstage all in black and I'm like, oh no, she's singing the In Memoriam. And not to say that other people aren't as respectful, it's just this was the first time I was really paying attention, so this was the first time I really noticed it. Very well done. I feel like it was very suited to their voices as well as their style. And I'm getting so sweaty and uncomfortable and gross. I do want to go over some of the winners real quick and just kind of give some thoughts. So I'm just going to speed round this real quick with my thoughts for the winners. Best Supporting Actor, Brad Pitt. Surprised me that this was his first award for acting, they said. I thought, I don't know, I guess when you're just like a big shot, like magazine level celebrity, I just assume you have 1,000 awards and I just don't know or don't remember. I'm happy for him, but there was I had a lot of hope for Tom Hanks. You cannot give Tom Hanks too many awards, and I stand by that firmly. Fight me. Animated feature film, Toy Story 4. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. As soon as you see the number 4 next to Toy Story, I'm like, you already won because you're Toy Story. Short film, Hair Love. Absolutely. Loved it. Cried. Started to cry at the acceptance speech, especially when they talked about seeing representation of themselves more in animation. Original screenplay, Parasite. Agree. Adapted screenplay Taika Waititi. Yes, and I hope he left his Oscar under the chair in front of him. Did not see the live action short, but I'm glad someone won. Best production design, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Give the Oscar to the movie that shut down basically the whole neighborhood, turn it into the neighborhood that you remember that it used to look like. That made sense. I knew it was gonna happen. Costume design, Little Women. Yeah, that stuff's hard. Little Women, it looks authentic, minus the fact that Hermione Granger pulls me out. But that's not the movie's fault, nor is it Emma Watson's fault. It just happens. But no, it looked great. American Factory, didn't see it, but it looks like an important thing that I should check out. Same with documentary short, Learning to Skateboard in a War Zone if you're a girl. Best Supporting Actress, Laura Dern in Marriage Story. It is not Laura Dern's fault that I hated that movie and her. It's also not the movie's fault. I'm a child of divorce and I've seen some pretty ugly things. Divorce stories bother me, especially Laura Dern's character. That's the point. She pissed me off so much, then she succeeded at her job. I did not see Ford versus Ferrari, but I heard their sound editing is the best. Sound mixing, 1917. That makes sense. Cinematography, Roger Deakins. That makes sense to me. Same with the visual effects for 1917. I felt like it should have gone to Endgame, but I'm super biased. Makeup and hair, Bombshell. Bombshell deserves more Oscars than that. Parasite, international feature film, yes. Original score, Joker, yes. I wasn't the biggest fan of the movie as a whole, but I loved a lot of elements, and the score was one of them. I super see it. I was also the first win for that composer, so that was also a big deal for her, which made me happy. We talked about original song. It went to Rocket Man. I thought that's what was gonna happen. Then I heard Stand Up and changed my mind, and then it turns out I was originally right. Director, Parasite. Agreed. The dude's amazing. Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. I mean, yeah, his let's love each other and then let's also be vegans. Good for you for being so ambitious with what you want for the world. I agree. I saw Earthlings. I wish I was a better person with the footprint that I leave behind. Best Actress, Renee Zellweger. I didn't see it, but my grandma did and said she's gonna win an Oscar for that. And she was right. So Parasite, Best Picture. It was what I wanted. It wasn't what I thought was gonna happen. I thought it was gonna be 1917. I do wish we had more representation as far as people of color and women at the Oscars. I hope that the more we kind of poke and tongue-in-cheek our way through it, we'll eventually learn from this. It's not like they're without options. It's frustrating, but I will say this. There's a lot more representation slowly being added to the roster. It may not be in a grand total all the time. When you think about the win that even Joker brought in with score, that's a female composer being added right there to the votes. Like, it's slowly happening. It's frustrating that it's not catching up, and there's obviously a lot there that I don't know about at play. Even in the smaller categories, we have a lot of female representation and people of color being represented slowly in each category, and eventually that will add up. Critics are a part of this, so we should encourage journalists to hire more different denominations and representations. I wish it worked that way. I always thought it did, but it doesn't. It's just frustrating that it's taking so long, and then it's to the point now where not only is it frustrating and shitty, but then also the jokes are even getting old. It's like, I don't want to hear more dad jokes about like, oh man, if only they weren't so sexist and racist. It's like, yeah, no, stop being sexist and racist. Like, come on. Especially when there was nine slots used out of a possible 10. You couldn't even be bothered to throw one more thing in there. That does irk me. The more I think about it, the more upset I get. Overall, this year was like a mixed bag. Knowing more artists outside of the film community helps add to my experience more, because then I'm invested in the awards, but then I'm also invested in the performances. Like, if I didn't know Billy, Aurora, and Janelle, I don't think I would have enjoyed this award show as much. As always, I owe a lot to you guys for that, so thank you for giving me back the Oscars. But yeah, there you guys go. What do you think about me talking about things other than just straight music? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like the video if you did. Subscribe if you want more. What were your favorite wins? What do you feel like got snubbed? I love hearing about it. I love talking about movies and things like that. Did you like this format? Should I talk more on this stuff? Was this kind of a miss? I'm trying to gauge different conversations, different styles on the channel. I'd love some feedback. It's very strange for me. I feel safe in the studio reacting and living, but when I'm out with other people, I can feel myself not wanting to disturb other people. So I've been saving a lot of my thoughts for here. There's a reel Trying to Stand on Thursday. I pushed it back a couple days. I hope you guys enjoy it if you check it out. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Take care of yourselves, please.